hello. Hello. Hello, little butt cat.
Alright, is it doing its thing? Is it happening? Is it happening at all? There it goes. Okay, hello everybody. Welcome to Used to a Problem. Lots of things going on today. Holy moly. Let's just put it that. Okay, so Keith Gill, he posts his little doggy picture and he buys 9,001,000 shares of Chewy. So is that the old Kansas City shuffle, or is that a little shake and bake? Like what's he doing? Now, did he dump them all? He filed. He bought Class A, I believe, 9 million of those, and put them at 6.6% of the Class A's. So he had to file 13G to be like, I own this. And he may have dumped them already when it peaked at $38 or whatever it was, and raised himself another $100 million. Or he could be holding on to it, and now he's got giant positions in two companies associated with Ryan Cohen. And along with that, Robinhood shit the bed. So people who had options that were way in the money couldn't do anything about it, and couldn't exercise, couldn't sell to close, and got screwed. And Robinhood's like, sorry. So they're getting sued for sure. Over the weekend, Keith Gill got sued by some clown who bought 35 whopping shares, which are worth 90% of what he paid for them. And I think he got ridiculed so badly that he withdrew the suit this morning with a sorry. So they got that going on. Price action on both Chewy and GameStop were hammered down. I honestly have no idea what's in store. Every day is a new fancy, what the hell is going on kind of jive we got going. Separate from that, the Supreme Court of the United States ruled that presidents have immunity if any crime they commit was during an official act, which is insane. So basically, Joe Biden, if he wants to, could write 6 executive orders, official executive orders, ordering the assassination of 6 Supreme Court justices, and there would be nothing anyone can do about it. People are like, oh, but the House can still impeach him. Well, he can order the assassination of people in the House, and they would never get the vote to impeach him. Theoretically, right? He now has a clear runway to do whatever crimes he wants, so long as it's on official White House letterhead, basically. Now, we know that he's not going to be some, sociopathic autocrat dictator who's going to do things like that, but we all know somebody who's already said that they will, right? Like a ruling like this is the end of the rule of law and democracy in this country. It essentially makes the person who's president an unlimited monarch. They can do anything they want so long as it's on official paper. And that official paper could be, let's murder all of our rivals and adversaries, right? It's official. You can't take me to court about that. You can't arrest me, right? If you try to arrest me, I'll order your assassination, right? I now, it's official. I now will turn the U.S. Treasury and transfer all of that into my bank account. And everything in the U.S. Treasury now goes through my bank account. I get to earn the interest on it. And it's official. No crime committed, right? This is a dumb, short-sighted ruling. And what the hell are you barking about? It's that once a month bark we just got out of you? What was that? This is the end of it all. So, I hope we get paid in the next 3 months, because I'm going to find a new place to live. I have to afford to, because, with AI, they'll be able to be like, well, who is an enemy of the state? Let's look at all the social media ever posted. Boom, you're on a list. And that's it. Now they're going to have, brown shirts or SS or whoever. They can, if they're under official orders, nothing they do is a crime, right? This is bonkers. Absolutely bonkers. So, It's wild to me that the Supreme Court ruled that the president can't forgive student debt, but the president could order the murder of all the companies that hold the debt. So someone put on Twitter, he can't forgive student debt, but he can legally order a drone strike of a student debt company. He could. Done. It's illegal. You can't do anything about that. It's bonkers. The dissenting opinions from the three dissenting justices, Kagan, Sotomayor, and Jackson, were basically like, this is the end of democracy. It's over. Peace. And that's it. Biden to deliver statement on Supreme Court's immunity ruling at 7:45 p.m. That's from Julio here. So that's in an hour and change. I'll be out of here by then. So I'll be done in an hour and 24 minutes. So we'll have a chance to see that. If I were the White House counsel arguing in front of the Supreme Court a few months ago when they were arguing this, arguing against this, basically. So the White House was like, do not give us this immunity. And Trump's lawyer's like, give us this immunity. If I were that lawyer, I would have been like, in my hand are 6 unsigned execution orders that will be official acts the moment they are signed. If you give the president unchecked immunity on any crimes committed in office on official capacity, you 6 will be assassinated. That's it. That's all you had to do. Point that out. And they've been like, oh, now this becomes very real to us. You cannot make people above the law. That's the entire point of the society we created. Like, we got rid of the king in the Revolutionary War specifically because no man was above the law. And here we are, essentially granting someone the ability to be above the law. Now, there are certain rights and privileges and things that come with being president, and yeah, they probably do get away with things that you and I would not be allowed to get away with, but we shouldn't make it so blatantly obvious that we're like, do whatever you want, dude, because this will doom us as a nation. There is no bouncing back from this. There isn't. You don't bounce back from stuff like this. This will be the undoing of us. Crystal ball moment. This is our undoing. Done. Set in stone. Nice knowing all of you. Okay, that rant's over. Right, Monkey Butt? I'm sure we'll talk about it more in the future. Or tomorrow, after Biden makes his speech here. So, boink. Did your one bark work? Did they go away? Yeah?
Houston, we have a problem.
Okay, Monkey. Let's turn off the intro. Let's make sure the other intros are off. Got our little checklist here. Oh, the other daytime intro was not off. Okay, good. We're good to go. Almost had a goofball there, didn't I, buddy? You're distracting me by staring at me with your big brown eyes. Okay. What do we got? See what we gotta do with Nub. Got the smiley face on. Chill face a second. Keith Chapman almost first. Fred Jones is first. Oops, third. Nope, fourth. Ryan H. The shout out to Monkey Butt and the Fat Cat. Well, Fat Cat's here, being as blobby as ever. GDC, happy birthday, Houston, and happy Bobby Bonilla Day to those who celebrate. Oh yeah, Bobby Bonilla's got 11 more Bobby Bonilla days ahead of him. Max Scherzer, I was read today, is getting what, like $25 million from the Nationals, $15 or $20 million from the Mets, and like $12 million from the Rangers. That's quite the payday for him. Oh, I forgot. I've got 2 unboxings to do today. So I got two more addresses. Wrong Conclusions sent me their address, and Left-Handed Wave sent me their address, so I can unbox their thingies. So let's. Wrong Conclusion was number 4. Little guy. This is the one that feels like a watch, I'll be honest, and it's already kind of opened. And so, yeah, it's a watch. What kind of watch is it? What do we got here? Oh, it's actually kind of nice looking. What's that say? Can't even read what that word is called. Is that even English? Where's my loop? Where's Where's my loop? My old eyes. Okay. What on earth? Where are you? Oh, it is, I think it's Latin. It's Economica, something like that. Okay. It's a watch. It's a watch. If it's alive, it is not taken because it's been 4 years since this thing was sent to me. Looks like a leather band. Might be fake leather. I don't know. But hey, yeah, there's a watch. You get a watch to go with that watch box that who was it? Poor Taste in Porn got. So boom, watch done. We'll put that down on Wrong Conclusion. Gets a watch. Okay, and the Left-Handed Wave sent me one, and he is number 7. Number 7. This is the gelatinous one. Feels kind of gelatinous anyway. Let's see what this is all about. It is... What are you? What is this? Oh, this might be one of those beard trimmer things. Wrong Conclusion. I hope you have a beard, because I believe this is a beard bib. It is. It's a beard bib. So you get these little suction cups, and I have actually used one because I cut my own hair and everything. And you put it on your neck, you suction cup it to the mirror in front of you, and they can do all of your beard shaving, and it falls into the beard bib, and then you can just dump that in the trash can, and then you don't get beard hair everywhere. Except I still managed to get a lot of beard hair everywhere because it just explodes off my face. But you are the proud owner of a beard bib. Hopefully, you're someone who grows a beard, or you know someone who does. So there we go. We got a dolly. We got a small little vice. We have a watch, and we have a beard bib. That is the 50 cent wish item so far. Attaining oneness, send me your shipping address, and we will unbox the last of these, which is, well, maybe this one's gelatinous. This one feels more gelatinous. Yeah, it does feel like there's like fluid in here. Something. Whatever this one is, attaining oneness, we'll find out, and we'll ship that sucker to you. So, send me your address. Okay, that part's done. All right. Am I max headroom? Again, god damn it. There's nobody here. There's nobody here using up bandwidth. Christ, crying out loud. Okay. GDC, thank God I did not win through a Tuesday raffle item. I was afraid I would have to snail mail my address to you, and then you'd unintentionally dox me, and it'd be a whole thing. Happy birthday, Houston, and happy Bobby Benet Day. There we go, yeah. Sad Boy Incorporated. Now, it is 129 different herds in a number of different states. The CDC fears the bird flu might be able to survive the pasteurization process. This is going to make COVID look like allergies. If bird flu, we got H5N1 and H5N2, and I think we have H9N1. There's like 3 different bird flus, if I remember correctly. The N2, the H5N2 is like a 90% death rate. It's like when the conquistadors landed and gave the flu and cold viruses to the uncontacted natives of North America and just wiped out 90% of them. That's what H5N2 seems to do. H5N1, which is the one that's gotten into all these herds, and then there's, it's branching from there. That one gets through your eyeballs, it gets through your olfactory system. It has about a 30 to 60% death rate. These are not numbers we have experienced before. This is apocalyptic type. These are the type of death rates you got when nomadic horse people from the Eurasian steppe ended up trading their wares once a year with members of a village. And then members of a village would get some weird virus these folks got from their horse herds, and it would just kill everyone in town. They'd all die. And so the next year, the horse herd people would come back and be like, Town's empty. I guess it's ours now. And that is brutal. Like, we saw our miserable failures when it came to COVID, and we didn't take it seriously, and we lost tens of millions of people worldwide. And we've got, hundreds of millions, if not billions, of anti-vaxxers now who will refuse. And if this thing starts spreading person to person at any reasonable rate of transmission, like previous flu viruses, without vaccination, probably 10 to 30% of the population on Earth will be dead. That's crazy. That is absolutely, that's apocalyptic. That is, stock markets don't recover, housing markets don't recover, businesses don't recover. Have you seen what cities look like when they lose 30% of their population? It is barren. It's essentially a ghost town. You have empty buildings. You've got crime rampant. You do not want a situation like that. And we'll have tons of Russian bots and things popping in going, with the vaccines, really think it's going to kill you. And then we get a whole bunch of morons who are going to be like, yeah. And then they're going to get this virus, and then that'll be it. It is coming. Human-to-human transmission is coming. There's no question about that. We have basically bird to mammal transmission, and perhaps some mammal to human, but we have not had the human to human yet. And I'm max headrooming again. My God, what is going on? Like, the internet can't. I'm the only person on, dude. Arrgh! It's so frustrating. At least, the audio playback hopefully will work and not be me sounding like I'm being ripped through digital singularity. Yeah. So Sad Boy Incorporated, you are correct. Avocados, can the world get any suckier? Yeah, it probably can. That's the sad thing. Sad Boy Incorporated, avocados, yes, but only if the SCOTUS uses the two-hand Hawk-to-a combo. Can I read? Happy birthday, HW. See the ISDA framework to prepare for closeout derivative contracts? It sounds like they're saying it's getting a lot harder to kick the can down the road. Let's figure it out. Yes, the ISDA and the website is pretty incredible, because you go to the website and it basically gives you two options. It gives you a default or bankruptcy. So basically, like, you don't follow our guidelines, you have two choices, default or bankruptcy. Pick one. The derivatives that we see about $600 trillion of them. Just the top 5 banks control 200 trillion of those. 5 top U.S. banks control 200 trillion of those derivatives. Our global GDP is $80 trillion. So if these derivatives, trip and fall on their face, there is not enough wealth in the world to do anything about it. So what do? I don't have a solution. This is like, I don't know anything this is like. I'm trying to think of a metaphor. It's like thinking of loan shark metaphor, but even the loan shark, like the mob wouldn't have the power to extract anything out of this. So busting your knees or killing you or selling your car isn't going to make a dent. And then the mob won't be able to pay their bills. And then the mob has the mob's mob coming after them. I don't know what the solution is. It is ridiculous what we've allowed to happen. And we're collapsing the environment. We've got zoonotic novel viruses trying to wipe us out. We have a poorly regulated market that has allowed for essentially the extraction of infinite wealth from nothing and no way to pay it back. We've got a population that's getting dumber. Yeah. Kitty, I'll put you in charge, bud. You're in charge, and it's just going to be food. That's all it's going to be. Just food. Right? Yeah. Lick that tail. Not too optimistic right now. Are you, Monkey? Nope, Monkey's leaving the room. She's not optimistic at all. Killer Reed, how can we unload this shit on the common folk? I don't know. GDC, people are sleeping on how bad overruling Chevron is going to be. Oh, yes. I mean, great examples I saw are the Congress writes a rule saying we need clean water, right? And they put an agency at the EPA in charge of making sure there's clean water. So the EPA goes, okay, what type of things makes water clean? Like, it's an absence of stuff. So like, we need to make sure there are no benzenes and MBTEs and lead and, thalmine and, melamine and, all sorts of things that should not be in the water. So we say, okay, don't dump this stuff in the water. We're going to figure out other ways to sequester it so that we don't dump it into our water supply and then we're not drinking, straight carcinogens or poison or whatever. Okay, so EPA comes along, finds a company that's dumping, benzene or something into the water supply. And they go, hey, you can't do that. We're going to fine you and you're going to clean this up. And the company goes, shit. All right. And so they get fined and then they got to pay to clean it up and then they can't do it anymore. Or else they're going to fine again, whatever. The Supreme Court ruled that the EPA does not get to define what clean water is. So Congress said, hey, EPA, define what clean water is. And the court is saying, no, EPA, you cannot define what clean water is. Only the courts can define what clean water is. So now EPA goes, whoa, this guy is dumping a whole bunch of carcinogens in the water. We're going to fine you. And the guy says, you got to take me to court. And so now they get to dump as much crap into the water they want while a 10-year litigation goes on. While a 10-year litigation goes on, water systems getting more and more and more of these carcinogens. It's just killing everything downstream. And everyone's, children being born with like purple bubbles on their heads and 9 fingers. And, everyone's getting weird cancers. And it's brutal. And then we get some lawyer, some judge, who has no experience at all in anything scientific. And they go, I think profit is good. And then rules against the EPA. That's basically what we're going to have happen. Why? Because the court also ruled that bribery is legal. So those guys at the company dumping the benzenes or whatever into the water can now shovel a bunch of money into that judge's pocket and make sure that the ruling goes in their favor. Because that is legal. Like I said, this is the worst court probably ever. This might be the worst court ever. I'm trying to think back, Reconstruction, Plessy versus Ferguson, Dred Scott. Like, this court, I think, is worse than those courts. This might be the worst court in the history of the United States of America, period. They are so incredibly bad at their job and so corrupt that it's going to spell doom. It's going to spell doom for us. We're absolutely screwed. So yeah. Well, might as well drink the clean water I have now, because who knows how long it's going to last. Adam Davey, what do you make of the lawsuit against RK for pump and dump? Also, since I'm newish to your show, why does everybody wish you had birthday all the time? How many birthdays do you have? The guy was suing because he's a moron, and he withdrew his suit this morning, going, sorry. And everybody wishes me, if I knew why everyone wishes me a happy birthday, I would be able to tell you. I think I did a show once on my birthday or near it back when I first started, and people were like, it's your birthday? When it was my birthday, and then just started going from there, and then they just been wishing me happy birthday ever since. And every day's my birthday. And sometimes I check my P.O. box, and it's totally my birthday. I'm like, what is all of this? Bandanas for monkey, catnip for the fat cat. Good stuff. It's their birthday too, apparently. Boris Raspy. Hey, Houston. We all know we are 4 emojis till the explosion. I think it's 2 emojis per month. Thoughts? Some people were saying it's days. Other people saying it's weeks. I think it's events. I think there are specific events he has planned, and those emojis have represented those events. Now, and so that time scale, I don't think necessarily equates to a specific, this many days. I think it's by event. And he's got something planned, because we've got fire. What's left? American flag. Maybe 4th of July. Fire, explosion, beers. Is that how many we got left? So, yeah, that's What's fire? What could be fire? So ESCO, RC set, RK set, Troy Hedge Fund set. When the F is our turn. We buy the stock, then DRS, wait, DRS book, buy from the company, receipt, porn. We're not supporting our GameStop. RC supporting us? Not yet. I think I'm picking up what you're laying down there. Basically, you're saying is that the big folks are all set. When's our turn to, like, you know, have a win? When's our win? That's what I want. I want to know that too. When do we get to win? Lisa Sal, Houston. So Chewy will also blast off due to being an XRT. How are options looking on Chewy for July and August? Let's see here. Let's do Chewy. Oops, I cannot spell to save my life. Chewy options chain. Dang it. Chewy options chain. Bam. Come on. Open up. Come on, you can do it. You can do it. There we go. All right. So July, August. We'll look at the July 19th because those are the monthlies. What type of action do we have? Well, what we end up at 25.44. So it exploded to like $34 in the pre-market, and they hammered the shit out of this thing. Holy cow. So, we had some movement on the 30s. 7,000 of those got either sold or executed or purchased. Those were in the money big time this morning. Each one of these things are worth probably $600 at one point this morning. Not too much movement on the big out of the monies. Let's look at the August monthlies here. Not too much going on here either. So Chewy doesn't have quite the ramp that others will have. Quite a bit of puts at 25 though. That's a lot of puts at $25 for August. Interesting. Very interesting. Okay, so not too much happening there. On the GameStop side, I'm going to refresh this thing. GME options chain. Because that's from Friday. Okay. So we got happening GameStop. Got 10,000 purchases at 23. That's a lot of volume there. 19,000 at 24. 17,000 at 25. Okay, we might be seeing some this is weeklies. So we might be seeing some action here on these guys. We're having more volume than there is open interest. And that to me says lots of buying going on. So there might be a weekly gamma ramp building here. I'm not sure who would be behind that, but all of these have more action than what's in the open interest. Okay, noted. Let's move to the monthlies. Not too much action on the monthlies. A lot of the weeklies are where all the happenings are. The 25s are up there. The 30s, there's still 27,000 and 30s. So, that's a lot of action to have on the weeklies and not have the same thing seen on the monthlies. That's weird. I don't know what the explanation for that will be. Not a clue. Stephanie L, hey there. What democratic countries would be ideal to escape to? I know Italy is paying for people to buy homes. Not sure about the politics, though. Fascists are in charge of Italy. So, yeah, it's, we're... Marine Le Pen, they got a plurality of the votes in France. And now, so Marine Le Pen's party were founded by the Vichys, who were the collaborators with the Nazis. They are as far right as you can get. They are essentially Nazis. People be like, well, they're not actually Nazis. No, they're white supremacist Nazis. That's what their party was founded on. That's who they are. And they get a whole bunch of their funding from Russia. Putin Marine Le Pen borrowed like $100 million from a Kremlin bank to fund her campaigns. Russia is behind them. They didn't get a majority. The second place was the socialists in man, my video camera is like totally slowing down now too. Everything's falling apart. The socialists got second place, and Macron's party got third. That's a close third. So now it's going to runoff elections, and the argument is, will Macron ask for all of his candidates to step down so that the left can take over and have a majority, or will he demand the left step down so that his party can hopefully step in and get the majority? I think Macron's goal was to have Marie Le Pen's party to actually take control of parliament and do a terrible job of it. So when the presidential election comes around in 2 years, everyone's had enough of that crazy lady. In this environment, though, I don't think you give him that chance. I mean, Hitler won with 30% of the vote. They're like, oh, well, it can't be that bad. We'll figure it out. You did not. You did not figure it out. Do not give fascists an inch, because they'll take a mile. Just don't. That should be the lesson learned all over the world, is that you cannot placate these people. You cannot treat them seriously. You have to treat them as the cynical, unserious assholes they are, and that's the only way you will succeed against them. Scoff at them, mock them, make fun of them, belittle them, punch them in the face if they're Nazis. That's the only thing. You get to just shove them underground again. So they just are under a rock, bitching and moaning, and too scared to put their head above the ground. That's it. You cannot take, a society cannot tolerate intolerance. That's basically the philosophical conclusion, is because, like, they will end you. They will end you. They will make lists. They will kill everyone who isn't them. They will end you. And the only way to defeat them is by a gigantic military response by a whole bunch of allies carpet bombing them back into the Stone Age. And we don't want to do that again. 75 million people died the last time we had to do that, which, as percentage of the global population, would be equivalent to about 300 million people dying, which is pretty close to the entire population of the United States. So you just cannot tolerate fascists. You can't. It destroys society so quickly and ruins everything. It's I don't know. I don't know where the safe places to be will go. Well, to go will be. I don't know. All the billionaires keep trying to go to get citizenship in New Zealand, so maybe that's telling you something. Boris Raspy, birthday. Last question. If DFV hinted just up and there's no exit, does that mean Gme will just trade high, meaning no squeeze? If so, thoughts on price? Well, maybe it will be like NVIDIA, where you just get gamma after gamma after gamma. It just becomes a very, very, very long, drawn-out squeeze. It's what Tesla did in 2020 as well. I don't know. I mean, I think the floor is getting higher with each one of these little cycles that he does. So, yeah. Yeah, it's I don't know. We'll find out, that's for sure. Let's go. I'm not shill. 7-figure position since 3.5 years, reduced to fractions. I think it will go up at some point, Esco, and I just hope that Ryan Cohen lets a gamma happen. I know the urge to sell into a squeeze in order to, like, get some more billions for yourself. You got plenty of billions right now. Right now, let us have this. Just let us have this little win here, please. Just please let us have it. ForZZ9, Houston, happy birthday. What do you think of the Casey shuffle, or about Kansas City shuffle, as I'm trying to say, is what is the misdirect? Maybe he's he's breaking ankles out there on the court, right? He's juking, he's shuffle stepping, he's faking a layup. He's doing all sorts of things out there, and I think he's breaking ankles. Someone also pointed out that the Boston Celtics are now for sale. They won the NBA championship. They are world champions. They're now for sale. So maybe Keith Gill will make enough money. He'll buy the Celtics and be the happiest Bostonian in the entire world. See where it goes. Yogi 2012, is this the fastest lawsuit that's ever been dismissed? It's probably on the list. Just Miami Slow News Day, maybe some baseball talk. Aaron Judge, Triple Crown possibility. There's that. So, Boris Raspy, thoughts on Chewy blasting price target? I don't think Chewy is shorted in the same way that other stocks in the basket are shorted. I think we had some gamma ramping last week, and we had big old purchases by Gill, which were probably internalized. So we might see some price action on T35 from that. But it's, yeah. I don't know enough about Chewy. I've never really paid enough attention to Chewy to give you one side or the other on that one. But I do think that they are definitely a merger acquisition target. I think they're looking to be a merger acquisition target. I don't think Ryan Cohen would hate to be control of his baby again. So it's all a possibility. Okay. Okay. Copy and paste. I wonder why RK sold his GME to buy Chewy. He did not sell his GME, dude. That dude did not sell his GME to buy Chewy. No, that didn't happen. Okay. Oh, we got a little shill in here. All right. Their name's Sloppy Options Trader. There you go. Okay. Michael Harrow, Houston, could diversification of the meme stocks be the way to go or stick with a couple of stocks? I don't think it matters, honestly. If the entire basket moves, you move with it. There may be some that move a lot more than others. I think GameStop would be one of those if there's no dilution. But I think you look back at 2021, see which ones went bonkers, and that's probably your basket. And I don't think it hurts to have those things in your pocket. So, diversify if you want. Pile them all together. I think they all do the same thing. Oh crap! There's a reset of the chat. Okay. Where am I? I lost my spot. That was Michael Harrow, Houston. Oh, yes, that's what you just asked me. Whoop. Hey, Chapman. Dragonfly merger. Check my link. Chat. Ah. Rah. Okay. Boom. Go to boom. Go to boom. Casey Chapman. I'm not seeing a message from you. Where are you? Did you send it to, which one? Did you send it to, not Twitter, to the other one, to Reddit? Oh, possibly Reddit. Nope, I did get a message from Low B. Please send me a tabletop Vice ASP. ASAP, I want to offer to buy them for official use only. Since it's no immunity at all. Okay. Casey, I don't see a message from you. What am I doing wrong? Oh, there it is. Okay, it just popped up. All right. Okay, let's see here. Boom. News. Juvo Plus, Cap Hill brands, Dragonfly, and Moonshot brands complete four-way merger forming Infinite Commerce. This is in Seattle. It was back in June. Back in 21st. Yeah, so 10 days ago. Highly accomplished product developer, marketer of Amazon platform, recently merged with Cap Hill Brands, the leading e-commerce aggregator of Amazon brands. The combined company rebranded as Infinite Commerce, signaling its position as one of the world's largest purveyors of consumer products and as a platform for consolidation. Infinite Commerce is headquartered in Seattle, led by Steve Neufer of the legacy Juvo Plus business. Cap Brands co-founder Kevin Saliba and Jason Leekinen have assumed key leadership positions at the combined company. Neufer said Juvo Plus and Cap Brands are a perfect match, a strong fit, share a vision, and complementary capabilities. This merger combines Juvo Plus know-how and diversified portfolios for strong brands with Cap Brands' market-leading technology platform and strong operational infrastructure. By leveraging our collective strengths, I'm confident that we are well-positioned to drive further consolidation in the industry. All right, that means absolutely nothing to me, that entire paragraph. Combining forces, blah, blah, blah. Shortly to form Infinite Commerce, the company acquired e-commerce aggregators Dragonfly and Moonshot brands, adding significant scale and further diversification of brands across multiple channels. Okay, and this is the same Dragonfly that Ryan Cohen's part of. Combined company now has a global footprint of 350 million sales and a portfolio of over 10,000 SKUs across several product categories, including children's sports, outdoors, home, kitchen, pet. What? Why are you whining? What's on your brain, doggy? Why are you doing the whines? Did someone make some fireworks go off and you're having a hard time? Is that what's happening? What's going on, dude? Do you need a snacky poo? Do you need a snacky poo? Should I give you one of these? Yeah? Will that ease whatever's ailing you? You can do that. Here, take that one. It's just a little guy. Alright. Okay, so back to this Dragonfly merger thing. Okay, so how come this is 10 days ago? How come it's the first I've heard of it? That's weird. Huh, monkey. I'm looking at that more there, Casey. That's interesting. Yeah, you would have thought this would have exploded all over, considering this was 10 days ago. Weird. Andrew Stewart, can you use AI to make transcripts of all the shows to make them searchable? Also, more shirts soon. Sending an awesome embroidered pearl snap. Ooh, that's like to hear. Come on up here. Come up here, and I'm gonna give you a pat. Let me say that's what I'd like to hear. She's like, and I'm going back down. Thank you, Andrew. I probably could do an AI to make transcripts of all the shows. I don't know if I will, though. That seems like work. Hey, do you want to read all those transcripts? Because I don't think I do. But thank you. I will look for a Pearl Snap shirt for sure. Right, Monkey? Why do you look so worried? You're a weird dog. Okay. Tristan Gates, damn, I was waiting for the upcoming show notifications so I could be first. Oh, well, you got there late. Avocados, good people will stick together and stand up for what's right and just. That's true. Okay. Adam B says, great job, SCOTUS. Seriously. Collins here. CC's Ghost is here. My pronouns are Bull Bear. Did he sell GME to buy Chewy? I seriously doubt it. I think he did options plays, made millions. I think he has a second account where he's doing other plays in too. So he showed us E-Trade, but there was a Fidelity tab that he also had. So my guess is that multiple brokerages are being used by him on this, just like how a lot of us use multiple brokerages too. Rupert Trooper also asking if DFV sold GME to buy Chewy? Do you think he sold his Chewy to buy more GME? Or theory that he's holding for a new cycle for Chewy? Are you going to buy options for Chewy? I don't have any ammo at the moment. I've got my options for GME, which took a significant hit today because they got hammered hard in the pre-market. But then just kind of for the rest of the day. There's action. There's a lot of action in the GME options for this week. A lot of near and at the money too happening. So we might see some things happen yet. Eric Vogt. Chewy is largest stock in XRT FTD explosion plus T35 on his purchase of 9 million shares. That's also very possible. Last month, GameStop was the largest holding in XRT, and now Chewy's the largest holding. So it seems to be something weird's going on with that. Who's in charge of leveling out the holdings in XRT anyway? Who's like the dude who makes the decision on that one? Jealous Money 9501. Hey, he's sup from skies over Brisbane. The Australians checking in. Virginia Beach is here. Chad Smith, sticks to talk, stocks, enough whining. Shut the front door, dude. Like, who gives a rip about stocks if this entire country is going to crumble under a fascist dictatorship because a bunch of bribed members of the Supreme Court decided to give whoever's in charge unlimited power? Like that. Stocks don't matter at that point. Why? Because there's going to be a culling of the population. That's why. That's what that leads to. It leads to camps. It leads to extrajudicial killings. It leads to a lot of stuff. And no. In the grand scheme of things, our little stock plays won't matter for shit if that's the future that the Supreme Court's laying out for us. So no. I'm not just going to stick to stocks. I'll talk about whatever the hell I want to talk about and offer my opinion on things. How about you stick to being a dumbass? You can do that pretty well. You don't have to even stretch out. You can just be like, oh, I woke up this morning and I'm the dumbest motherfucker in the room. So no, eat shit, dude. The future of the entire human race hinges upon the decision that the Supreme Court made today. And the dissenting justices were quite accurate in their summation that this is the death of democracy. So no, I'm not going to stick to just stocks or whatever because it doesn't suit your fucking fascist dreamscape of murdering people who are like LGBTQ or brown or whatever. Like, no, man. Like, you stick to being the dumbest motherfucker who's ever existed, and I'll stick to being way smarter and having actual empathy for humanity. So yeah, eat shit, dude. Fuck you. Okay, moving on. Colin, hey, Houston, top 5 countries become wealthy expat. Exactly. See? Colin gets it. He knows that we're fucking doomed with the Supreme Court decision. So, Colin, top 5 countries be wealthy expat? Well, you're going to have to look at countries that are somewhat stable and are able to perhaps withstand influence of nefarious, powerful Western government. So let's say you're like, all right, I'm going to be an expat in, I don't know, Thailand or something. Because, good cost of living. Somewhat, they got services. They have decent hospitals in the right spot, whatever. But it comes down to some U.S. government force like, we're going to foment a coup. Okay, you might be screwed. You try to go to a Western European country and it's good, maybe Portugal or Spain or something. But again, both those countries do have histories of fascism, so it might be a little bit harder for fascists to get a hold because they realize life sucked hard under Franco and etc. But they don't, cost of living is okay, decent hospital systems, chance for buying property and getting a good residency and stuff. But you have to look at what type of influence is happening in the EU at that point. We have Marine Le Pen's party is now the French representation of the EU, and we might have Brexit 2.0 or Frexit, or whatever you want to call it. And we know that Brexit has absolutely just destroyed Great Britain. The UK is effed in the A as a result of that. So I don't know if there's truly an excellent location that you can that you can get to that won't be affected. Again, the billionaires are going to New Zealand, so maybe New Zealand's the answer. They have a good chunk of the country will have a climate they'll be able to withstand all sorts of climate change. You're far removed from global powers. You know, no one's going to be targeting New Zealand to nuke them or anything. So, yeah, I don't know. You could say Caribbean states, but we just saw that Hurricane Beryl, however you want to pronounce it, is now the furthest east forming major hurricane in history, and did so in June. So it's a Category 4. It's absolutely just raking its way through the Caribbean islands right now and on its way to Yucatan. So, you know, you got also the climate change to worry about that if you're going to try to be an expat in one of those places. Yeah, it's I don't know. I don't know what the solution is. I honestly don't. Where do we go? Canada's gonna be upstairs looking at us going, we can't afford our own houses. And yeah. Everything else is flooding under a heat dome. So yeah. Best of the rest, XRT pronounce short finance bros be funny. Yeah. Meow meow. If Joe Biden wins, the verbal gaffes will be hilarious. If Donald wins, the verbal gaffes will be hilarious. But if they run Newsom, no verbal gaffes. I guess that's one way to look at it. I'd be curious to see what all comes of everything that's happening. It's what time to be alive, right? We can watch once in a 1,000-year landslide happen on video in a little rich Swiss village at the same time as watching people get washed downstream in Minnesota or cooked to death in Saudi Arabia. It's man, monkey, what a time to be alive, huh, buddy? I know you'll do fine. The rest of us will cook out. You'll eat all the bunnies in the world and just be happiest little bugger there's ever existed. Tedalus, why don't you take it to the streets? Court thing. I'm sure people probably will start doing that. It's the rulings from this court are so disconnected from legal precedent and reality that is just mind-boggling. And I do think that probably the biggest failure of Joe Biden's 4 years in office was not packing the courts when you had the House and Senate. Could have put in, 4 more justices, absolutely pack that court, put in 9 more justices if you want to. Who cares? Pack that court and made it so that these rulings would not happen. And they trusted the system, the checks and balances. Oh, it'll all work out in the end. It is not working out. You cannot take fascists seriously. You cannot take theocratic extremists seriously. You cannot take people who accept millions of dollars in gifts and bribes seriously. You just can't. It's a recipe for doom. I don't care what side of the political spectrum you're on. You cannot do that as a society and expect society to continue normally and improving people's lives. We are going to make people's lives worse in a very, 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 very fast fashion. And it's kind of depressing. Just a smidge. Anyway. Paul M. Chad Smith, get your own show. Bingo. Brett Jones, the movie Civil War coming to fruition. I don't think it's going to be pretty, whatever the outcome is. Mike C., there goes democracy, pretty much. Jake Geyser said, dumb, 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 got monkey to bark. First I've heard. Dumb, dumb, dumb. Nope, didn't work. Mike C., you can't even question things now. The MAGA cult gets all pissy. They do. They're the pissiest little piss babies that have ever pissed in the entire world. I mean, the problem is with the MAGA cult is that they've tied their entire personal identity to their idolation of another human being, right? So you attack Donald Trump, they take it personally, right? You can attack Joe Biden all day long. He's a doddering old man. His administration has done quite a few effective things, but he was my 18th choice out of the 22 people who ran for Democrat. Like, you attacking him was like, oh no, my own personal identity is now in the dumpster. That attack him all you want. I will either agree or counter you. But if you attack Donald Trump, these people, they paint their cars with Trump. They fly his flags. They wear his clothing. Like, they're adopting him as an entire personality trait, and that is fucked up. That is messed up. It is like, I love sports. I love watching sports. I love playing sports. I love learning about athletes and following them. Even I don't coat myself in the jerseys of these players every day and treat, thinking a baseball player or basketball player is the greatest thing in the entire world as if it's my own personality. I don't do it with bands. I don't do it with movie stars. I can appreciate what people do, but I'm not going to make what they do or who they are who I am. And the MAGA people have made who Donald Trump is into them. And it's messed up and it's weird. And I don't understand the psychology behind it. I know that there are people who need someone to follow and want somebody to just tell them what to do, and they'll just gladly do it. They don't want to think or question. And it gives them a sense of belonging. I get those portions of it. But, like, if your sense of belonging is associating with the worst people you can possibly find, then what have you made yourself a part of? I don't know. And I'm sure viewers are checking out right now, me pontificating on these things. But, like, become your own person, I guess, is my advice. Figure out who you are. Because who you are is not who he is. Like, you give birth to a child. Hold a little baby, like, oh, it's my little baby. I love it so much. And the baby grows up, and there's just something a little about the baby and the kid eventually comes out. It's like, hey, Dad, I'm gay. And your response isn't, I love you for who you are. And your response is, get the fuck out of my house. You aren't a good person, right? Like, you seem to be lacking something in your humanity, and you need to figure out what's broken inside of you if that's the case. That guy during graduation when the superintendent was shaking the hands, everyone was graduating, and the dude like pushed the superintendent out of the way so that his daughter wouldn't shake the hand of a black man. Like, what's your damage, dude? Like, what is it in your life that someone congratulating your daughter on her accomplishment makes it so that you lose your mind because your racism, sexism, homophobia, you name it, is more powerful than the rational sector of your brain? I just don't understand. I don't get it. I don't understand the lack of curiosity. I don't understand the fear. I don't understand the no conscience. It just doesn't make any sense to me. So yeah, I'm sure folks in here are like going, fuck you, man. But yeah. Sad Boy Incorporated, if I started wearing Ted Cruz merch and covered my car in stickers and flags, I would get a visit from the FBI. We're doomed. I think you would get committed. People are like, why do you like Ted Cruz so much? His wife doesn't even like him this much. It's wild, man. It just blows my mind. I wish we could somehow separate our personal individuality from that of the people we elect to represent us. Like, the people who represent us should reflect us, not us become a mirror of them. Right? Like, if you are so devoted to Donald Trump, you will overlook anything he ever does. He literally said, I could shoot somebody in the middle of Fifth Avenue and my followers would be like, yeehaw, right? That's fucked up. Because it's true. He could. He would make any excuse they possibly could for that random act of violence to justify why he did it and why he was awesome for doing it. And that is not the sign of a strong mind or a strong will or a strong ethos or a strong conscience or anything else. It's just crazy to me. I'm watching the follower count graph just fall off a cliff here. Okay. CC's ghost about the beard bib. Yeah, beard bib. Beard bib's going to... Who's getting the beard bib? Left-handed wave gets the beard bib, right? Beard bib. Boom. Or was it wrong conclusion? No, one conclusion got the watch. Yeah. Bungamagoo. I bought Chewy at 21.20. Nice job, Bungamagoo. You did better than people who didn't. Michael Tucker. I had many undecided friends who say there is no way they will vote for Biden after pathetic performance the other night. They're leaning to RFK now. Did they watch RFK's debate performance? Because Biden had laryngitis and a weak voice, and yeah, it was not a strong performance. RFK has no voice whatsoever, and you can't understand what he's saying 90% of the time. So if their reasoning for going to RFK is because Biden had a poor debate performance, RFK's weird one-man debate against nobody was much, much worse. Much worse. Bungmagoo, H1N1 was the last one I remember. H1N1 is the bird flu I think that we've had before. I think it was like the Hong Kong flu originally was called. And H5N1 and H5N2 are the bad new ones coming along. And there's H9N1 or something. Colin, can Biden order that Trump gets it? I'm pretty sure if he puts on official stationery at this point, yes, he probably could. And then, everybody's like, well, we got to impeach him. But then he just kills anybody who would impeach him when using official stationery for that executive order. And then nothing the courts can do about it. Prosecutors are like, cannot. Scott Breitbarth, what country do I move to next year? Exactly. Where are you moving, Scott? Wherever it is, make more intros. Louis Vasquez. Libtard's crying. Jesus Christ. Louis Vasquez. Your name is Louis Vasquez. Your last name is Vasquez. Trump will put you in the camps long before he puts me in the camps. Vasquez. Have you not heard what he wants to do? He basically wants to round up everybody with a Hispanic last name and send them somewhere else. I've got a waspy last name and blue eyes. At least I'm going to be fine through that round. But you will not there, Louis Vasquez. So you can do your little crying, weepy, little ha-ha-ha-ness in the chat all you want. But you and I both know you are doomed before I am. So, good luck, Mr. Vasquez. Jigish Shukla, keep doing what you're doing, man. Thank you, Jigish. Every few months, we've got to go through a culling process where the assholes who are upset the fact that I am not a Trump devotee discover that I can talk about things other than just a particular stock, and that it's important that we acknowledge this stuff and the realities of our future. Stuff is more than just little stock tickers. I would love for a stock ticker to explode and for me to, be be able to get a retirement out of it and live comfortably and not have to worry about, fascist court decisions that will doom us all. Be like, you know what? I could put this into gold bars and hop on a sailboat and go out to the middle of the ocean or something. That's the type of thing that gives you some privilege. But, other people, they can't erase their skin color or change who they are or mask their identity. I could easily, if push came to shove, I could easily, put on a suit and tie, change my game, and blend in with the assholes. And I would get away with it for quite some time. But there are people who do not have that privilege. They don't. They aren't, white guys with blue eyes. And to imagine all the people who aren't white guys with blue eyes trying to somehow blend in with a whole bunch of racist assholes is not going to work. They're going to be the shit end of the stick regardless. And Louis Vasquez there has not grasped that fact yet. They're coming for you, Louis. There's a reason why there was a Verband National Deutscher Juden, which was the Jews for Hitler. These were Jews that thought, oh, if I help Hitler get elected, when he's elected, he'll spare me. That was basically their thought. Or they're just so dumb, they thought, yeah, fuck Jews like me, or whatever. And then the first thing he did when he got to power was he killed them, deported them, put them into camps. Right? He did not care who they were. They didn't care that they were Heil Hitlering all day long, and they were like, woo, yeah, Hitler. Right? He just killed them. He will do the same thing to all the people who look different from them, unless they're, being little unpaid slaves at one of his casinos or something, right? It's you got to play this thing out in your head. You got to think about it. Push comes to shove, can you pretend to be a white guy with blue eyes? No? Then you're probably on the wrong side of this. That's just the reality of it. And for the white guys with blue eyes who are like, well, I don't have anything to worry about. Okay, you have a cluster B personality disorder and we can't take your opinion seriously. That's it. If you have no humanity and no empathy for other people and can't figure out what life is going to be like with them because of your selfish little decisions to like stick it to gay people or whatever, then we don't have to take you seriously and your opinion doesn't matter. You just are just a with no conscience. So yeah, that's how I see it. That's how I take it. And we just be better. Just be better. Read a book for once in your life. I don't know. I don't know what the solution is. I can hope there's a solution. I can say, let's fund our schools and turn them into palaces and grow generations of people that can analyze situations and play two steps ahead and then not wrap their entire identity up into a single human being and, feel some sort of like narcissistic injury when that person who's our identity gets criticized. It's what a day. Andrew VH, go off, Houston. For every person rage quitting, there's someone like me silently going, fuck yes. Well, thank you, Andrew. I will cater to that audience at this point. Like, most of the time, I get people bitching and moaning, complaining, and whatever. They're not people who donate to Charity Tuesday. So, like, if you're going to bitch at me all day long, like, how dare you talk about these things, and you've never once donated to a Charity Tuesday, like, what do I care your opinion is? Right? Like, at least play the game. At least the judges in the Supreme Court, say what you will about their horrible decisions and going back on democracy and legality and everything else. They at least do the bidding of the people who pay them, right? Like Harlan Crow is giving justices millions of dollars in gifts and vacations and cash and you name it. And so they're going to vote his way. The people bitching and moaning in my chat, they aren't even donating to the charities that I set up. So, like, if you're going to try to influence me in some way, at least pay up, dude. My, oh my. Okay. Colin, we were chatting Costa Rica last week. Katie sounds like Houston has done some research for us. We need cheap cost of living and decent healthcare. Costa Rica has really, really, really great healthcare if you are in a city. If you're in rural parts, it gets a little sketchy. So, living in a tourist area, like, one of the coasts or in San Jose or something. San Jose is a fantastic modern city. It's been getting better and better and better and more developed as time goes on. And they've done an amazing job. They've actually grown more forests than any other nation on Earth. Everything was logged for a long time. Their environment was destroyed. They've replanted forests, and the jungle has actually gotten larger over the past 20 years. So they're at least doing something, and Costa Rica should be commended. Doesn't mean that they won't also face horrible consequences of climate change, but at least they're doing their part. Bung Magoo, name one thing the government does well. The administration of healthcare. It's about 1 to 3 cents on the dollar for the U.S. government to administer healthcare, and between 30 to 90 cents on the dollar for private enterprise to do it. So, yeah, the government administers healthcare far superior to that of private insurance. People are like, well, what about the Veterans Administration? The Veterans Administration, as much as you read about complaints to veterans healthcare, right? The Veterans Administration has an 81% customer satisfaction rating, which is about 20 points higher than any private healthcare system across the country. So yeah, there's lines at the Veterans Administration. You need help. There are not enough doctors hired to do it. Why? Because their budget keeps getting cut. We created millions of more veterans than we had before, and then we cut the budget for the VA. It's not Democrats who did that. It is Republicans who did that. So you can complain about, problems with the VA. Problems with the VA exist because Republicans cut the budget for the VA. On top of that, you can look at the Veterans Choice Act, which Obama passed. Everyone's like, oh boy, yeah, the veterans can now, if they need help, they can go to a private hospital and they get that help, and then the Veterans Administration will reimburse them, much like Medicare or Medicaid, right? And what they discovered was the wait times at the private health hospitals were longer than the Veterans Administration. You can go look it up. Like, everyone rah, like, oh, these vets who are waiting so long, they can go get help at the hospitals. They're waiting longer now than they ever did before. Because the private hospitals, it's worse. So, there you go. You look at another country, you look at France or Norway or Germany, where they have socialized medicine, there's universal healthcare. They're providing better care to a higher percentage of their population for about 1/3 to half what we're spending. Because they've got the purchasing power of the government, they can negotiate fees. All the doctors are on salary. There is a limited number of administrators to facilitate all this stuff. We have 800,000 doctors and 1.8 million hospital administrators and insurance employees that are working as the bureaucracy to funnel these insurance payments. Doctors aren't employees. They're contractors. They have to rent space from the hospital where they work. Now, they have to process all of their fees themselves. So you have a doctor has to treat people, but they also have to have their own administration staff that will pay the hospital, get money from the hospital, bill people. It is a dumb system. It is a really inefficient, dumb system, and the only people who benefit are the health insurance companies. We ask about, dividend stocks. Health insurance companies are the best dividend stocks in existence. Back in the 90s, the 20 most profitable corporations in America, 19 of them were health insurance companies, and the 20th was Philip Morris. So Philip Morris puts them in the hospital, and the insurance company collects all the money. That's basically what we had back then. And today, most of the most profitable companies are still health insurance companies. And they don't make money by providing you a service. They make money by denying you that service. You pay them, and then they deny your claim, right? And you have to pay out of pocket, take out loans, face bankruptcy. It's a dumb system. So yeah, one thing the government does better than private industry, healthcare. Another thing government does better than private industry, managing our parks. Another thing government does better than industry, highways. Another thing government does better than private industry, airports. Another thing government does better than private industry, seaports. Another thing government does better than private industry, constructing hydroelectric dams. Government does better than private industry, monitoring our weather, right? GPS. inventing the internet, having the most powerful military in the entire world, cheaply. I mean, heck, when the military had things like, army cooks. You had cooks in the army who would make meals. They probably weren't the best meals. I get it. They're done on budgets and whatnot. But they could feed 3,000 calories a day to soldiers for about $1 a day. You go to Iraq, where KBR won which was a subsidiary of Halliburton, won the contract to feed soldiers in Iraq. It was costing almost $100 per meal per soldier per day. That's how much they were bilking out of you, the taxpayer. When you just had an army cook, opening cans of slop and putting it into a saucepan and mixing it up for everybody. Yeah, it's cool. It's probably not the best food in the entire world. But it saved us $299 a day. So yeah, we do that better. We do a better job regulating the markets than private industry, that's for sure. Publicly owned ambulance companies do a better job than privately owned ambulance companies. The EMTs get paid more, they're better trained, they have faster response times. Companies like AMR, American Medical Response, and others like that are dog shit. They're really bad at their job, and the EMTs are usually poorly trained in making less money than someone who's like shining shoes on the side of the road. So yeah, I prefer having government do that. Government educates students better than charter schools. Charter school performance is not better than American public schools. You'll see these stories about, this school in Chicago graduated, 100% of their students are going to college. So charter schools are better. And you look at the sub-story, you discover that charter school expelled every student who wasn't accepted to college, and they weren't allowed to graduate, right? So no, they didn't help those kids. They didn't serve those kids. They served themselves for a headline, and that only the kids who were accepted to college were allowed to graduate. The other kids, shit out of luck. Guess what? Now you're a delinquent with no high school diploma. That's where we are. Like, from the get-go, I started the show asking the question, did we create society to improve everyone's lives, or did we create society to maximize profit and drive revenue? I believe in the former. I think we create society to make everyone's lives better. And if you are using your place in society to actively make people's lives worse, then why are you here? Why do you elect people who are like, the government can't do its job, and elect me and I'll prove it? Those aren't the people you want in charge. You're what's that asshole monkey? The one who worked for Reagan who said he wanted to make government small enough they could drown it in the bathtub. I can't remember that guy's name, but like, that's what type of mentality is that? People assume that they're all these powerful individuals and they're self-reliant. They don't need anybody. No, you do. Shit happens in life. That's why we have a society to help pick us up along the way, provide, a net, a social safety net for us to fall into so we don't go splat on the ground at times. It happens. We all get sick. We all get injured. We all get laid off, right? We all face, the effects of crime or domestic abuse, or like, shit happens in people's lives. And we form this collective to ensure that when shit happens in people's lives, we can somewhat mitigate the disaster that could come from it. And we're doing a really poor job of that in America, as evidenced by the fact we've got streets full of homeless people and addicts and people with psychosis. And we don't do anything meaningful to make their lives better. And by not doing anything meaningful to make their lives better, the aesthetic we face every single solitary day of our lives gets worse, right? Your quality of life as a tax-paying citizen with your own home is terrible if you have to step over people on your way to work, right? It just objectively is. So not only is the person who's on the sidewalk, who has nowhere to go and no hope in life, not only are they at the absolute bottom of society, but where you are gets brought down by having to experience that somewhat along with them. It's we do such a shit job in this country at doing the very basics that a society should. When I was in Norway years ago, we rented a hotel room from a hospital. And the hospital was beautiful and amazing and modern. And every morning we got to go to the cafeteria and have our continental breakfast. You know, eggs, bacon, whatever. Norwegians have kind of weird breakfasts, maybe like fish, eggs, and horse salami. But there's, food. And in that hospital, I would look out while I'm eating my breakfast, and I would see dozens of women having a breakfast with these they look like little plexiglass bus carts. And they had a little baby inside of them. And these women would eat their breakfast and, nurse their baby or whatever. These are little infants. These are tiny little freshly newborns, right? They're tiny little things. And these women were there all week. Why? Because when a woman gives birth in Norway, they don't kick them out of the hospital 3 hours later like we do here and charge them $40,000 for the privilege. They keep them there for like a week so they can relax. They can check them for symptoms of postpartum. They make sure the baby is latching, that there's no complications, there's no infections. It is the responsible thing for society to do. And doing it that way saves them money in the long run, ensures the children's health and the mother's health in the long run, and is just the right thing to do. And it doesn't cost them $40,000 to do it because there's no private insurance companies involved. So the hospital doesn't have to overcharge because everything can get denied, negotiated down. It's such a dumb fucking system we're in. We just do it wrong. And because of our American exceptionalism, we think because we do it wrong, it's better than everybody in the world. It is not. It is not. You have a baby in France, twice a week, someone from the government's going to come to your house for a couple hours and help you fold some laundry, clean the bathroom, maybe cook you a dinner so you can take a load off their newborn mom, right? You don't have to be stuck trying to take care of this life and work the house and do everything else. You can have a couple hours a week so you can take a bath, get your head on straight. We don't have paid maternity leave. You can have maternity leave, you're not going to get paid for it. Right? You get cancer in France and you battle cancer and you miss work, they're going to figure out a way to make sure you don't lose your house, that all the medical care is taken care of. And when you beat the cancer, let's say you have prostate cancer or breast cancer or whatever, and you go through surgeries and chemo and radiation and all that stuff, and you beat it and you're in remission, guess what? You're not going back to work. The government is going to stick a bunch of cash in your pocket and say, take a month off before you come back. You need it. And you will go to the Caymans or Mallorca or wherever, and you're going to relax. You're going to celebrate the end of this horrible disease you've been battling. And when you get your strength back and you're ready, you come back from that vacation and you re-enter society and you go back to work and you continue being a productive member. We don't do that here. You get cancer, you're fucking fired. The insurance company is going to cancel your premiums or your insurance plan, or they're going to say that you had pre-existing conditions or whatever, and you're going to be stuck with hundreds of thousands of bills. And if you die, your family members have to take that on, and then they lose homes and cars and everything else. We just do it wrong. We do it so wrong here, and we're so proud of ourselves for doing it that way, right? It's just so stupid. We could be doing so much more with our lives and things could be so much better. But no, we're going to spend 1/7 of our economy on our healthcare system, and it's going to result in 76% of bankruptcies. It's just, my God, we're so fucking backwards. And there's no reason we have to be. There isn't, except for the fact we can legally bribe our politicians and our judges, and there's no repercussion. We can make sure that cops are hired or dumb as rocks because we can make it illegal for anyone with an IQ above 105 becoming a police officer, right? We can give them qualified immunity so they can just blatantly commit crimes on the job, and you know what? They're not going to face any consequences for it. Oh no, I got a year paid time off. Oh, bummer, right? Oh, I can just move from, I shot a guy illegally here in Washington. I'll just get a job in Florida because my certification transfers. It's just, Man, we could do so much better. So why do we celebrate when we do things worse? That's the stuff that I don't get. Why do we celebrate it? Why are we so happy? Like, oh, liberal tears, oh, triggered nerd. Like, cool ethos, buddy. Way to go. That's a really cool personality you have there. That's great. Yeah. Cool. Everything you do is specifically to make sure somebody gets mad. Awesome. Good for you. Okay. I'm sure they're going to have more comments in here. They're going to get me triggered. I only got 4 minutes, though, and I'm an hour behind. So that means 20 minutes away is Biden's making comments about the Supreme Court decision today. So we'll see if he pulls the trigger on something ballsy or if he just meekly goes, meh. We'll find out. Grape Knowles, Houston, how would you describe your mind's place? What are the first flashes, images that show up first? I say my mind has two functions. It is a filing cabinet, or maybe like a folder system, / one-armed bandit. Those are the two systems. Like, and the one-armed bandit isn't like a random association generator. It's like the filing cabinet. I go back to the files, pull out the one I need, bonk. Sometimes I have trouble finding which name needs to be in that folder file, so I have to ask Monkey questions, and then she, telepathically tells me, like, oh, you meant, the answer to that question was Jamie Lee Curtis or whatever. But then there's the one-armed bandit. Through the one-armed bandit, it's the slot machine you pull, and it's got the little wheels that spin and lock, and if you get 3 in a row, you win, right? It is like someone will say something, and one of those things go clink, and then the association one goes clink clink, and then all of a sudden I have a train of thought that will bounce off of that and be like, oh, that's that thing. So I'd say those are the two main ways my brain works. I'm actually dreaming once more. Tony Tran, new Epstein file dropped. Yes, apparently the documents from the grand jury got released today, and they're horrifying. Basically, the prosecutor was looking to, like, oh, I gotta charge this guy, but let's not make it so bad, and basically turned the victims of Epstein's grooming and assaults and rapes and all that stuff into co-conspirators. Like a 14-year-old girl gets brought in and molested by Epstein, and then he pays her $300, right? And then the prosecutor's like, oh, so you're a prostitute. No, dude, she's a victim, right? And Epstein was paying her to shut up, basically. So that's what I've gathered. I didn't read all of them. I just saw highlights here and there, but that's what it seemed like to me, and it was pretty god awful. Yeah, glad that dude's gone. I wish he could have suffered more, but whatever. Warrior says, I left New Zealand for Australia. Improvement? It's me, BK. Is Jimmy dead? Oh, God, no. No, it's not dead. Ben L, microphone over flag means live stream 4th of July? I would hope he's something better to do than live stream on 4th of July. 4th of July is such a fun holiday, and it might be our last ever, so enjoy it while you can. 4th of July, some bounce house, slip and slide, burgers, parades, pancake breakfast, 5-mile fun run, bicycle ride. Like, it's just a good day. It's a fun day. Alexander K, just finishing my coast-to-coast bike ride across Michigan. Your show's great. Way to finish the trip. Oh, fantastic, Alexander. Are you going to be able to make it out for 4th of July? I know you were hinting at it. Scott, I'm kind of disappointed Arcade didn't buy more GME calls instead of buying Chewy calls. That would have been nice. What do you think is going on? How is this going to play out? He might be just jacking up members of the basket all on T35s and have them all coalesce at once. Maybe that's his play. Maybe there's others he's done it to and we just don't know it yet. That'd be interesting. Well, okay. I'm sure there's millions of comments chastising me or saying yay, and I've not gotten to them. But I've got to get going because, bills have to get paid. I want to thank everyone for letting me vent to them and exploring the weirdness that is everything today. It is absolutely right, Monkey. It's just weird, dude. It's weird. And the office is going to be really hot this week. I'm going to try to do a show at some point tomorrow. It might be a nighttime show tomorrow. Because I probably won't be able to do one on Wednesday. I will try to live stream the 4th of July baseball, 3rd of July baseball game, Old Timers baseball game on Wednesday. And then there'll be no show Thursday. So we'll be back Friday after that. It is supposed to get really hot this week. So Friday might be an absolutely inhumane condition inside of this office on Friday. So monkey butt, prepare yourself. It's heat dome's coming, baby. So get ready. All right, everybody. Have a great day, and I will see you at some point tomorrow. I got to help set up the baseball field tomorrow. So the afternoon I'll be like raking and chalking lines and doing all those things. So I'll catch you guys on the flip side and see you probably tomorrow night, probably an after dark tomorrow. Okay. Regular intro. Boom. Well, monkey, I'm gonna come here. I'm gonna come up here. I'm gonna tell everyone good show. She says, good show.